All right, so in this video, let's go ahead and make our first Zap, okay? So right here is what's called ClickFunnels, right? It allows you to build landing pages. So for this example, what I'm gonna do is build a quick landing page with a form that's gonna collect information, and it's gonna pass that information to this Google Sheets. Then in turn, we can send an email. Let's go here, open up my inbox, which in turn is going to send an email here. So let's go to send, and you're going to see the last email that's been sent here. Okay, just one moment. So last email that was sent from this inbox was the 11th. So let's go here now and let's just build a quick form. All right, so please fill out the form below, right? So now we need input fields. So for these input fields, we're going to collect name. So there's one input. Let's put name, full name, and then required. Let's go email. Let's add another input, email, email. Let's choose email address, required, okay, phone number. You don't always have to collect phone number. However, if you have the opportunity to collect the phone number, it's way easier to get it up front than to circle back around and ask for the phone number. It's way harder to do it that way. Just trust me, get it up front if you can. Okay, so name, email, phone number. Now we need to submit this information, right? So let's hit submit, submit, submit form. Okay, cool. So now we have this landing page, right? So we want this information filled out here to go here. So let's go name or lead name, lead phone number, right? So this is what we're going to be filling out. So if we go here and we can go back one, and let's go submit this form here. So let's copy this and let's go to it. Let's bring this over here. Now, Tristan, okay, let's use this information here. Trade journal. Okay, let's use this information. Bam, bam, bam. We hit submit, and cool. There's nothing here, right? We can agree there's nothing here. Now, let's go make a Zap, right? So Zapier, let's go back actually, because I want to set some good examples and good habits from the very beginning. For sake of organization, when you log into Zapier, you're going to have your homepage. You're going to have no folders here, right? So you have a bunch of Zaps here. These are my Zaps that I haven't, really sorted. But you want to get into the habit of sorting these into folders. That way you know where to go find whatever Zaps you need. So depending on whatever it is you're building out for whatever client, or if it's for yourself, or if it's just for lead gen, or for any whatever it is you're building out, you want to group them into groups, because once you start building a lot of Zaps, you don't want to go through all the different folders to find where all your Zaps are, because that becomes very, very hard to find. Like here, for example, I've got 19 Zaps in here, right? You got another 4 Zaps here. You got 1 here. We got 2 here. So you wanna be organized, so you know where all your Zaps are. You can go in and find them very easily. Worst case, you just go here and you can just type in do here local. You can go here, just type it in, and it'll find it. But for organization, just to build good habits, you want to put everything into folders. You always want to put everything in folders, guys. So let's make a new folder here, and let's call this Zapier training. So now we have this folder, Zapier training. Let's make a new Zap. And the way Zaps work is it works on a if this, then that type of system, right? So the reason I submitted this information, I'll circle back to it in a moment once I start building this out. So let's go to ClickFunnels because that's where I built this page here. It's on ClickFunnels, right? So you would just search for whatever app it is you're using. They're not all going to be listed here right away. You've got to start typing it in and it'll just, whatever you're looking for, it'll essentially, find that app for you. So let's go to ClickFunnels here. Let's go to ClickFunnels here. ClickFunnels, and what do we want? We want a new contact activity, right? So triggers when a new contact activity is created. You have another one, triggers when a successful purchase is made in the funnel, or triggers when a failed purchase is made in the funnel. So let's go contact activity, save and continue. It's going to ask you for your account. If you don't have anything connected here, you'll have to add or connect a new account. Here's my account. It's used in 58 Zaps. So save and continue. Now, this is your trigger. So the only way this automation works and executes is if this trigger, if this occurrence of this, what you specify in these parameters here, only if this happens, then your Zap is going to trigger and it's going to run your automation, okay? So we want this in particular to run on this funnel called Zapier training, right? So Zapier is going to read this title for this funnel. Because if we go here into settings, the name of this funnel is called Zapier training. Now, because you connected your ClickFunnels account over here, it's able to read all the different funnels that you have within your funnels or within any, platform that you're using, whatever software you're using has a trigger and it's connected to Zapier, it's going to read all the data in your account. So that's how it knows what to do, okay? So if we go here, save and continue, we want this to be in our Zapier training funnel. So if we go Zapier training, there we go. Which funnel step should we watch for new contacts? Now, in here, I only have one step. However, if you have maybe 10 steps, 15, 20, I've got another one that's like, I think 70 steps in that funnel. So I can specify which exact step I want this to trigger on, or I want it to watch for new contact activity, okay? So we're gonna choose opt-in. Now, you see opt-in here. Let's go back here and you see opt-in. This is the name of the funnel step. As you see, funnel steps, opt-in, right? So we want to choose opt-in as our funnel step. Let's save and continue. And Zapier doesn't want to make mistakes. Because it doesn't want to make mistakes, it wants you to test your triggers to make sure that it's grabbing the right information from the correct place. That's the reason why I submitted this before I came and built out this app, because it's going to ask to test the trigger. We'll find a recent contact in your ClickFunnels account to confirm that the right account is connected and your trigger is set up correctly. You always want to test your trigger because you don't want to build out a whole Zap, a whole automation, build out all these automations, but then it's all wrong because you chose the wrong funnel or whatever the case may be, or the wrong application or the wrong data within your application. You chose the wrong thing as a trigger. So you want to test that to make sure that you don't make that mistake. Let's test this trigger. It's going to pull this information out from ClickFunnels into Zapier, right? Let's test the trigger. Now I just found this contact. Remember, that's the same information that I submitted here, tristanjamal88@gmail.com, and this phone number. This is all here, right? There we go. So let's continue now. We now have our trigger set up correctly. Now, what do we want to do? We want to send it here to Google Sheets. So remember I said that you also want to name your Zap as well, right? So remember I said that Zapier works on an if this, then that type of system. So if this happens, we want Zapier to then do something, right? Which is called an action. So let's go to Google Sheets because this is where we want it to go here in the spreadsheet. That's where we want the data to go, right? So we choose the app and we want to create a spreadsheet row. Alternatively, we can update a spreadsheet row. If it already had information, we can search for a variable in one of those columns or rows and update it based on that specific parameter. Next, we can create a worksheet. So we can create a brand new worksheet in the Zapier training. We can create a spreadsheet row. We can create we can copy a worksheet, we can delete a spreadsheet row, we can create a spreadsheet column, we can look things up, and we can look many things up, right? So that's essentially, depends on what it is you want to achieve. You have many actions you can do based on your trigger. Now, make note that you're not always going to have the same actions here or the same functions down here as you will up here. So to put it into perspective, let's go here. Let's just open up a new window here and take a look for a second, okay? Let's go to Google Sheets. So Google Sheets here, let's make a new Zap. Let's go to Google Sheets as the trigger, okay? Google Sheets. So let's take a look at all these different triggers, right? Remember, this is the trigger. So let's compare these triggers. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 triggers, right? Versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 actions. So again, you're not always going to have the same triggers and the same actions with, all of your different applications because it just depends on what function you're trying to achieve with your automation, right? That's why you have different actions as well as triggers. So what do we want to do here? We want to create a spreadsheet row whenever this is filled out, right? Whenever this form here is filled out. So let's save and continue. You're going to want to connect your Google account if it's not already connected. So let's choose my Google account. And the drive is going to be my Google Drive, your spreadsheet now. Your spreadsheet, this spreadsheet is called Zapier Training, right? So spreadsheet, let's go here, Zapier Training. Let's input that. And it's going to ask for the worksheet, which you have down here. So let's change this here to Zap Training CF data, right? So if we go back here, let's just refresh these. Okay, there we go. So Zap Training CF data. This is what this sheet is called. This all happens in real time, guys. You could always refresh your fields, but pretty much Zapier is always running, depending on your account level. So there's different account levels. So there's, the free accounts, which means that it's going to take a little bit longer, maybe about every 15 minutes, I think it is, for your Zaps to run. On your higher tiered plans, let's go here, Zapier pricing. Let's just take a look here, just to segue off for a second. And I just want to show you the difference between, let's go here, Zapier pricing, plans and pricing. I just want to just take a quick second just to explain this. Okay, so you got free 100 tasks a month and 15-minute update time. Same with starter, 15-minute update plan. Professional is instant. 2-minute update time, and this is the plan I'm on, which is 1-minute update time. So what this means is these three here aren't necessarily instant zaps, right? This one here, every 15 minutes, it'll do a poll and take a look to see if any automations are in the queue for your account. That's every 15 minutes. With a free plan. With a starter plan, it's the same thing every 15 minutes, right? How often? Zapier checks for new data to start your Zap. Over here, when you get to the higher plans, that's where Zapier checks it more frequently because you're paying them a higher premium. That's just how it works, guys. The more you pay, the more features and benefits you're gonna get, right? So in this one here, we got 1 minute update time. The reason why this is important is because if you're down here on a free plan and you're building zaps that all interlink, you can tell one zap to do something else, then tell another zap to do something else based on the action that happened in the first zap, right? So if there's a 15-minute gap, that means that you can't tell the other app to do something right away because it needs 15 minutes in lead time to to run the first zap, and then for the second zap to understand, okay, this just ran. They can't all be instant if you're on this plan. So I just wanted to segue off and just point that out, because if I had a free plan, then this app here that I'm building, it will take 15 minutes for it to write to this Google Sheets. But because I'm on this plan here, it'll check every minute, and what's going to happen is it's going to run just about instantly. It's going to take up to 1 minute, but it'll be quicker. It'll be instant versus over here where it may not be instant because you got 15-minute update time. So I just want to segue off and just give you that little disclaimer, just in case you're ever wondering why are your zaps not working in real time. It's because they want you to pay more money to have like instant, right? That's just how it works. I can't control that. That's just how the platform works. Now let's go back here. Let's choose this worksheet. Now, if you see here, lead name, lead email, lead phone number, these sound familiar, don't they? These are the headers. Every column that you want your information that's passed through Zapier to write to the spreadsheet, if you want Zapier to write to the spreadsheet, you need to have column headers, because Zapier is going to read your spreadsheet and see what columns you have available for them to write data to, right? So lead name. The lead name, let's put that here. Lead email, let's put the email here. Lead phone number, let's put the number here. Now let's go back here. As you see, it's empty, right? Let's save and continue. And again, you always want to test that to make sure that your functions are working correctly. So what this is telling you here is that Zapier is looking for this spreadsheet, Zapier training. The worksheet, Zap training, CF data, is looking for this spreadsheet or worksheet. And then the lead name, they're looking for this column here. And then lead email is looking for this column here. And lead phone number is looking for this phone number here to write this data here, okay? Let's test and continue. And you're gonna see here, bam, bam, bam. Just like that, test was successful. A spreadsheet row was sent to Google Sheets just now, instantly, right? You've got all this data here that was passed through from here, right? So now, very, very important, guys. Once you're done building your automation, your Zap, you want to turn it on. Let me stress this. You want to turn this on. I'm guilty of this too, where I build out, a whole 20, 30 step Zap, and I forget to turn it on. I'm going about my business, going about my day, and it's not running, and I'm wondering why. I didn't turn the damn thing on. Very important. Very, very simple, but don't overlook this, right? So your Zap is on. So here's what we're gonna do. So let's do Tristan test at test.com and 1, 2, 3 Tristan.com. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, okay. Before we hit submit, let's just take a quick peek. But this row here is going to be filled out once I hit submit, just like that. So that is how a Zap works in a very, very basic explanation, right? Now, there's going to be other things that you're going to want to do. Now, for sake of length of this video, I'll do a more complex Zap in the next video. But I just want to go through the basics. A Zap means that, it's if this, then that. So let's go back here. So as you see here, I want to go back to my folder and I want to go to Zap training folder. Let's open up the Zap. So when I say if this, then that, so if there's a new contact activity on this form, then that. Then I want it to do this, which is this action, this trigger action. If this, then this. This I want it to do, which is the action, is write that information to this Google spreadsheet. That is the very basic function of a Zap. If this, then that. Pass data from one application, a completely different company. This company is completely different from this company, but the glue of the internet, the glue between the two, ties them together. It ties the data from here and throws that data in here through what's called a Zap or an automation, if you want to call it that. But that is the basic function of a Zap. I hope this is helpful for you to understand what exactly a Zap is, right? So let's go into more complex Zap in the next video.